15 degrees, you can see your breath. Out here in the lake effect, breaking tables like it's poetry. Where else would you rather be? Pinto, Ron, Elvis, and the lay poncho. The members that you need to know. 'Cause once you out here, now you're family. Where else would you rather be? Where else would you rather be?
Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Crippen. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker and StreamYard. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud.
It's a vibe so ridiculous. Since 12 plus 83 was 6. The shout rocking like a symphony. Where else would you rather be?
All right, let's get straight to it. Whew, we made it. From the final time when the clock hit 0-0 in the AFC Championship game, that heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs last year, to now, it has been a long road, Bills Mafia. Been a long road, Nickel City Crew. We made it. We made it through the draft, the offseason, free agency. We made it through it all. We are finally back. Our beloved Buffalo Bills will kick off the 2025 NFL season in earnest. Sunday night under the lights at the Ralph, the farewell season. Oh, it just all comes together, and it just brings a smile to my face. Joining me tonight, as always, my co-host, riding shotgun, Adam Dumptruck Rupsick. Check him out on Twitter and Instagram at Adam Rupsick, RUPCZYK. Holla at the crew, DT. We made it. We made
Nickel
it, brother.
City.
We made it, man. Click, clack,
Nickel City, we're back. We're back. We're back out of the heat. We got through the spring. We got some golf in. It was a good hot summer.
Yeah.
Now we're in that nice 45 to 55 every morning when you wake up. That good fall weather, and 2 days away from kickoff of what we all been anticipating a real long time, Rob. And I've been, I talk about it every year. We kind of ramp up, go through the preseason. I'm working on my fanhood, I'm working that up.
Yep.
And we're gonna peak 8:30 Sunday night, baby. And I can't wait. It's gonna be rowdy. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be one to remember. Hopefully, in the last one in the Ralph, and we made it. We made it, baby. Sorry we missed you last week, Nickel City. I know you guys did a great job holding it down while I was out, and we'll keep it moving. But this is a big one. Rob.
It is a big one, and it's funny. That's the reason that I named the episode the way that I did, DT, was because it's when you look at season openers and stuff like that, you're always in the schedule comes out. We do our schedule release show and stuff like that, and you're looking and you're counting up wins and you're stacking up wins and trying to figure out where your team could land. It always seems to be, not always, but most of the time, it seems to be like a nice little cupcake, for the good teams. It's a nice little cupcake, almost like college football-esque, where, you've got Southeast Missouri State coming in and they're playing Alabama, you know what I mean? And you got a chance to just go ahead and, stretch out your legs, figure out what's working and what's not going to work, but you don't have any real threat of losing the game. DT, there are no soft starts with this, man. You are starting off with a heavyweight matchup. The Buffalo Bills, our beloved Buffalo Bills, facing off against the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, DT, it's a matchup that, listen, win or lose, we lose the game. We'll go pessimistic first. We lose the game, the season's not over. You got 16 more left. The one seed that we all have been talking about, and we talked about it specifically on this show in the offseason, is still within reach. There's no end to the one seed talk or chatter with a loss in week one. However, DT, boy, a win over this type of opponent at home at the Ralph under the lights, it would go a long way. It would go a long way if you could find a way to get this victory on Sunday night.
I think you said it at one point last year, if we went on like a roll in a certain point of the season, you're not going to be able to tell me shit about the Bills, because we're about it. And we go out there and belt the ass on Sunday night. We're litmus test. the people are on notice. The world is on notice. They just got through Hard Knocks. Obviously, here in Buffalo, we know what we got, and everyone just watched Hard Knocks around the world and saw 17 and what he means. And he comes out here and lays it down on Sunday night. The world's going to get behind this Bills team real quick. But you got to be humble both ways. It is week one. It is a long year. I like it, Rob. I like it. Last year, you could call it a cupcake in Arizona, and we damn sure had
you and I were sweating it out together.
We had a hurdle and a broken hand to win that game from well behind, down 17 points at one point. Right. So there really is no such thing as a cupcake in the NFL, especially in the early season where you don't know if these supposed bad teams are going to be bad. But I can guarantee you something. The Bills are going to be good, and so are the Baltimore Ravens. So we are not in any cupcake scenario. Both of these teams are going to be fighting for not just playoff spots, but that 1 seed and that Lombardi. I love the litmus test right out of the gate. It's going to show you what we got early. It's going to let you build on it, and then a pretty cupcake schedule, if you will, after this. So either way you look at it, it's going to be a good one, and I like the pressure. I make love to the pressure, Rob. Hopefully the team does too.
God, listen to you. I know we talked pre-show last night a little bit and kind of got some of our thoughts out there, and we want to share it with Nickel City Crew and Bills Mafia. It's funny that you talk about it that way because, last year, what was one of my main things was that, towards the end of the season, as the playoffs got started and we started to wind down on the regular season, I didn't like the matchup with Baltimore. And one of the reasons that I didn't like it was because of obviously seeing what happened, in front of my eyes earlier in the year and how they kind of, took, you talk about belt to ass, they took that belt to that ass on the Bills last year during the regular season. And so as we approached the postseason, DT, I was a little bit worried about the matchup because of the fact that I didn't think that we matched up well against Baltimore. And because of that, I was more nervous about the divisional round game than the potential AFC championship game against Kansas City. I mean, we watched Kansas City, what was it, 7-0 in one-score games. I mean, they had the horseshoe stuck firmly right up their rear end last year. And I just didn't think they were a good team. Not a great team. They were obviously a good team. They're Kansas City, but I didn't think they were a great team. I was not worried about that matchup and that potential matchup in the AFC championship game. I was wringing my hands. I was looking through my fingers. I was worried about that Baltimore matchup. And to be honest with you, DT, nothing about that divisional round game is really washing it in my feelings because of the fact that I thought that the Bills were lucky to get out of that game alive. I really was. And I was interested to hear what you thought about it because this still seems like a bad matchup for me. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. Listen, Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia, I have to keep it real. I have to keep it on brand. I have to keep it funky. I do not like this matchup for the Buffalo Bills on Sunday night because of a lot of mitigating factors that we'll talk about later on in the show. But I just wanted your 30,000-foot view of how you view this matchup because I'm not excited that we're playing against the Baltimore Ravens in this particular team on week one. I'm just not excited.
Yeah, even after 7 years of 17 being our quarterback, making the playoffs pretty much guaranteed, dominating through the league, leading, in offense, we still have a little bit scars of the drought, right? And when a good team comes in or we got to play a good team, there's still a little nervousness about it. And that's okay. The Baltimore Ravens deserve to have some nervousness around them. They are a great roster, top to bottom, and they've historically been known to be kind of a mean squad, right? From the Ray Lewis days, all the way through of really screwing you up if you're not ready to play them. And now they got the battering ram of Derrick Henry, the MVP Lamar Jackson, a good young receiving core. Their defense just keeps getting more stacked and more stacked. Line of scrimmage on both sides is solid. And they continue to have that AFC North mentality of being bruisers, and they'll come smack you in the face if you're not ready. So definitely, concern on the fact of this team is not going to lay down, and no team in the NFL will. But there's a lot. I'd probably pick, this team last, and out of all the other 31 teams, obviously not including us, so all the other 30 teams, I'd pick this team last to have to play. But we got to do it. You got to play who you got to play, and I'm excited for the opportunity. The roster is solid. Their team is solid. They're going to be coached great by Harbaugh and the boys. But I love this. This is what we've transitioned to. Like when 7 years ago, when we're scared to play, let's not just lose by a lot, And ironically, the rookie The debut for Lamar and Josh wasn't a blowout in the opening game of the
Yes,
season in
sure was.
Baltimore. The Bills got their ass kicked. Josh
A
came
rainy
in
day.
and Lamar came in at the
Yep.
same time in the same
Yep.
draft, and they're always kind of living in the shadow of Pat Mahomes, early,
hmm
in the year before,
You're right.
and so they're connected in a way of like battling back and forth for MVP 1 and 2 the last couple of years.
hmm
So the storyline is great, but I like now I've transitioned from 7 years ago of like let's not lose that bad and keep it respectful to like I want this now. I want to see the best of the best because I do want to be ready when we get back deep down into that season and we got to make that push to get in that inch we have to get that we've fallen short from. And I think
Talked
games
about that.
like this right out of the gate, where there's a lot of rookies on our team, there's a lot of rookies on their team too, but really just seeing what we got early and setting the tone for the season. It's not a ramp up, how to be a pro. This is how you win in the league. It's if you aren't coming correct on Sunday, you are going to get embarrassed. And I
hmm
kind of like that pressure it puts on a young team and a pressure that I know the vets, especially Josh Allen, are ready and embrace it and kind of would rather have this than kind of going into a Saints week 1 or something like
hmm
that. So
hmm
that's
hmm
my philosophy. Respect to the Ravens, respect to the roster that's always been bad, man. When I say bad, like badass is what I mean.
hmm hmm
And a roster that's always been badass. But we have also put ourselves on the pedestal of the NFL to be up with the best of them. And the gambling line is literally dead nuts right down the middle. So I like it. I like having to have these bros right out of the gate because it's gonna we need to play at this level all season long.
It's funny because I like that your approach, and I respect your approach because of the fact that you're absolutely right about that. There's nowhere to hide right from the word jump, and I kind of do like the kind of the solace that gives me as a Bills fan because I kind of am going to know a little bit about my team now. Obviously, this week 1 team is not going to be the same as it is in week 18 when we're lining up for the regular season finale against the Jets. I understand that. However, the litmus test that it provides is something that I think that you can glean into, and it's something that you can actually take some things from and extract from as we move forward and push forward into the year. Specifically about the Ravens, let's get before we go to the offense. We'll talk about the defense first. Listen, DT, I am here's one of the main reasons why I am nervous about the game in respects to Sunday. And again, we've already given our disclaimer. The season is not over if the Bills lose. The season is not over if the Bills win. It doesn't matter on either side in respects to the 1 seed and playoff seeding, stuff like that. So obviously we're going to keep things in perspective. However, as I said to start the show, it would be a great win if we can get it to start the season because this is a quality opponent. Speaking to that quality opponent, I'm not sure, DT, that the Ravens aren't capable of carving up the Bills defense however they want. Now, let me explain before Bills Mafia, before Nickel City Crew goes crazy. Yes, we have some new pieces on the defense. And yes, Brandon Beane, kind of influxed talent into the defense. What we talk about at the end of the Kansas City game, it was, oh man, we just didn't have the horses. And Justice General's on, we didn't have the horses. We don't have the blue chippers. We've got some guys, TJ Sanders, Deontay Walker. We've got some guys that can play, and hopefully they'll make an impact. However, the team that Lamar Jackson fields on offense, they just seem to have an answer for anything. If you want them to run it down your throat, they can run it down your throat. If you've got some iffy corners, Lamar Jackson has already proved that he is not just a running quarterback. Shout out to Bill Polian. He had to apologize recently because of the fact that, listen, Lamar is a pocket passer with the ability to run. Same way that Josh Allen is a pocket passer with the ability to run. I'm most worried, I think, about when I look at this Bills defense because I'm looking at a lot of young guys in rotation on the defensive line. The secondary is crazy with Trey White being out. Now it looks like it could be Dorian Strong. It could be Jamarcus Ingram. I don't know who's going to be quarterback number 2. You've got Cole Bishop stuff that we talked about in the offseason, and he was hurt again, and then he was looking iffy. And listen, I'm worried about the amount of ways they can attack the Bills defense. And that's what kind of gives me a little bit of pause in respects to that side of the ball, because I don't know what to expect from a TJ Sanders, DT. I don't know what to expect from a Deontay Walker. Those guys are brand new. Obviously you got Bosa and he's healthy. So that's a sign, an encouraging sign, but I'm just worried about what could be ahead, because this is the type of team they can beat you how do you want it? I can give it to you how you want it.
Yeah, and that's that's the toughest way to stop, right? It's the game plan. You only have this at least I will say we've had the most time to prepare for this game plan. We've had
Sure.
literally
Sure.
since that schedule came out, and we knew we were playing them at one point
Right.
already in the season, but as soon as that schedule came out in May, we had since then to prepare for this team on all facets of that. We know they can hit us in all directions, so you got to be ready to go with that. The Bills have continually, other than, obviously the playoffs, we've been very critical, and we should be. They are horrible defense in the playoffs. We don't get off the field. It's tough to watch, and it's cost us probably a Lombardi or two, to be completely honest. So, but they do find a way with the bend don't break mentality where it's not anybody so far like on an island per se. It's very rare looking through the past of the Bills and McDermott's defenses, other than like Kyer Elam in Jacksonville on a crazy London game, that you're like, damn, this dude's got to get off the field. Maybe a little DeMar Hamlin, but overall, I think the levels of this D, it really doesn't put anybody out in a solo situation where it's like he is not ready to go and we are getting exposed. I think the levels and the backup and the way this defense operates is having everyone's back, rotating as a unit, and that's cliche to say because all defenses are kind of built that way. But the Bills, I think, have done a good job over the years with maybe masking not having the talent and being out there with that bend don't break mentality, and that's kind of the way where in a situation like this where you almost don't you give them, you're not giving them on purpose, but think they have the edge in a way, and then they start attacking that one direction, like, oh, we can run it hard with Derrick Henry, and then all of a sudden we clamp it up and lock it down with Derrick Henry. Last year in that divisional round, they made a point right out of the gate. Derrick Henry wasn't going to run down our throat.
And then
so what did they do? Lamar
us.
Jackson stepped back and made some good plays and threw for probably too many yards in a situation that came down to the wire. So they are capable of it, but I think the defense will be capable of kind of making that bend or break mentality. We are going to give up points. Zay Flowers in a fantasy setting is probably a pretty good start this week. But as we get to the other side of the ball, we got a stud offense as well. And you've been talking all offseason about basically screw the defense. We just got to go out and score 40 anyway. Right?
Yes, I am.
So you don't want to concede to that week one. You think we're got to be fresh right now. We got to be ready. We got to be flying around the field, even if we are a little outmatched in those regards. But the defensive backfield, tough right now. I'll agree to it.
It is.
This linebacking core, though, not. We have an all-pro coming back in Matt Milano, who is allegedly back, and we will see Sunday night. You got the captain, Terrell Bernard, who has always makes plays. Last year, I text you all the time, 43 just makes plays. Now he's what, 8? Now he's number 8 as the captain. The linebacking core's there. Veterans on the defensive line. We'll see if these rookies are halfway decent on Sunday, it's going to be noticeable. And I don't think we're going to, shut this team down by any means, but I think the way that's built and the way there are veterans and pros and situations of this defense that can make it sustainable to get through this game, get Josh Allen the ball back. We're not going to clamp these dudes up under 20 points, but we're not going to let them get 45 either. And I think right out of the gate, we're the freshest we've been. There's enough on the defense to kind of, it's a wide open landscape Sunday, wide open landscape. They're going to try they don't know what they can get on us. We don't know what they can get on us either. So it's more of a mind game, if you will, make them think they're getting something and they're not, and just kind of keep that time ticking off the field. So you keep getting
it. And that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think that the Bills might invoke a ball control type of offense and game plan to kind of limit the actual exposure? I almost named the episode Limited Exposure because of the fact that I don't know if Sean McDermott is willing to have a Dorian Strong or a Jamarcus Ingram be in the limelight for 60, 65 plays against this Baltimore offense. So I was going to ask you, you stole my notes that we didn't even share. Do you think the Bills might incorporate more of a ball control type of offense, like they did against the Ravens last year in the playoffs, where we're not going to give you as many opportunities to burn us. We're not going to give you as many opportunities to hurt us because of the fact that we know on the back end we're a little bit thin.
I think it's in the game plan, but I don't think that's how we're starting off. I think we're really going to roll it out and put our dogs against their dogs and see what happens. And if we're holding in there, we don't need to make that game plan. I think it's in the game plan as a fallback and a fail safe, but I think we're not going out that way. We're not starting the game like that.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Tonight's episode is presented by Taste of Buffalo Pizzeria, down here in Huntersville, North Carolina, where I am in Charlotte. Listen, I miss Buffalo food all of the time. Check out Jen Pataglia and her crew over there, tasteofbuffalopizzeria.com. Listen, they've got all of the food. Listen, if you are in Charlotte and you are from Western New York, you will love going to Taste of Buffalo Pizzeria because of the fact that it will remind you of back home where DT is. It's got the great pizzas, the great subs, all of the stuff that you miss from back home. They've got it for you. They got it covered. Check out my crew over there at Taste of Buffalo Pizzeria, right there in Huntersville, New York. Huntersville, North Carolina. I'm already want to be back in New York, and that's how Taste of Buffalo Pizzeria makes me feel. It makes me feel like I'm back home. The right pizza with the right dough, beautiful sauce, a little hint of sweet sauce. They've got it all, man. The stinger subs, they've got everything for you, man, down there. So check them out, please. Jen Pataglia and her crew over there are running a great, great restaurant. DT, okay, well, we'll flip the side of the ball because you just told me that we're coming out guns blazing on offense. I don't have anybody on the Buffalo Bills defense that's as good as Kyle Hamilton. I don't have anybody on the Buffalo Bills defense that's probably as good as Patrick Queen. I know that the defensive tackle and Matabuke, he was a stud, an all-pro 2 years ago, not last year, but 2 years ago. Listen, DT, they have studs on that side of the ball too. Does everybody get an encore? Because listen, Joe Brady is rolling out that offense. I expect to see run heavy. I expect to see James Cook featured. I expect to see a situation where, I don't know, man. Listen, I'm not a proponent of it because it doesn't look the way that I want it to look. That does not mean that it's not going to work. We found that out last year. I told you guys, if everybody works again, I will shut up. I will be quiet about everybody eats. How do you feel about the Buffalo Bills offense coming into week one? Because listen, love it or hate it, this is the offense. This is the approach that Joe Brady wants to employ and wants to use to attack defenses. And this is it. We need some guys to step up because of the fact that if everybody's eating, then everybody better grab their fork and their plate because of the fact that opportunities are going to be there when you got a guy like 17.
Yeah, and why not? Especially just in this case, I like that 14's the safety and not like a cover corner or anything like that. So, it's a little harder to stay away from him, because he can be all over the field a little more. But it's part of the game plan. You're gonna have a guy like this every week now in the NFL. And Patrick Queen's on the Steelers, by the way, Rob. He went cross.
Oh, he did. Well, did they have another linebacker?
They got Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith. That's better. That's what I meant. Roquan Smith.
Who's probably better.
Roquan Smith is who I meant.
Yeah.
My bad.
Who's probably better. And Van Noy, came off and beat our ass last year, but hopefully he's old and we can.
That's what I meant. I meant Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
I think everybody eats, yes, but it's down to the cliche we get back to right away, line of scrimmage. This game is a line of scrimmage game from top to bottom. It's a dog fight. It's big players on both sides. The line of scrimmage needs whoever wins the line of scrimmage obviously will have the upper hand, but I think they're going to set the tone to get what they need to do a little quicker. What you need to do a little quicker in this game might be you need to get to 38, you need to get to 35 first, and you got to start that pretty quick. You can't ease your way into getting to 35. You got to go out there and start scoring pretty much on the first drive to reach a number like that. So this offensive line, I'm putting a lot of faith in coming back, being strong, being fresh, and really getting the push off, using this crowd behind them to really get the push off they need to set the tone early so we can start climbing to that number that we're going to need to get to win the game. And I think that's where it starts. Josh is going to do his thing. Obviously, he's out here trying to, everybody just saw him for 5 weeks on Hard Knocks, and he comes out and lays an egg week one. It's not going to, not that he's written off by the world, but this is an opportunity to really get the world behind him. He comes out here guns blazing. So not that he's thinking about that, but, as a fan, I think that would be really cool. We got James Cook back. These running backs are fine. They're ready to go. Starts at the line of scrimmage, though. We need to dominate early on the offensive end so we can start moving the ball, putting the pressure on this, Ravens. If it is into a shootout, we have to set the tone of that shootout by the line of scrimmage and getting going early.
Yeah, but here's the thing that I'm worried about, because yes, the offensive line is great. I love Aaron Cromer, love Jimbo. That I was a big proponent, and I know you were as well, of getting him paid and good vibes. We named an episode that way because I wanted him to get his money, so that way everything was just cool and copacetic this year, and I didn't want any type of drama that was unnecessary. Here's the thing that I worry about when I talk about the Bills' offenses, because everybody eats is it's a moniker that they've embraced. Last year it worked. I had to shut up. I told you guys that I was getting back up. I told you guys last week I'm ready to fight. I've got the stamina. If it doesn't work this year, I'll be back to talking shit. If it works this year, I'll be quiet forever about that approach that Joe Brady wants to take. Not my only, but one of my main worries about everybody eats this particular year, because it looks like it's pretty much the same offense. You've got, out is Hollins, in is Palmer, out is, another guy, and in is another guy. I'm worried about the fact that some guys may not step up. And that's the one thing that can mess up your everybody eats and the t-shirts that are passed around at the rallies, is that if Dalton Kincaid is not ready to step up, DT, it's a problem. Now, step up does not mean that he becomes Travis Kelce this year. That's not what that means, because you guys already told me, Bills Mafia, that everybody eats. So everybody, listen, grab your fork and your plate. If Dalton Kincaid doesn't have his fork and plate, if Keon Coleman, who's been nagged by a little groin injury, who was a full participant today, if he's not ready to go and doesn't have his fork and plate, I think that it starts to have a cumulative effect. Does that make sense? Where, well, Dalton didn't really do what we wanted to do today, and Keon didn't really, make a splash play like we needed him to make today. And then Josh Palmer just got started, and he made a couple plays, but it's kind of all on Khalil Shakir and the run game. They shut down the run game, and then all of a sudden we're waking up on Monday, and it was like, dang, Josh didn't really have anywhere to go with the football, because nobody was gaining separation, nobody was winning their routes, different things like that. I'm worried about everybody eats rearing its ugly head on the fact of the eaters not stepping up, and that's what I wanted to hear your thoughts on, because listen, man, there's no more time. There's no more time for anybody. If I say there's no more time for McDermott, then I can't be biased and on the flip side of the football, not say that there's more. Well, the offense has more time. They need to be coming out firing, ready to go right now, Sunday night.
Yeah.
I need Dalton Kincaid to show up. I need Keon Coleman to show up. I need to see help Josh out, because if he puts on that Superman cape and he's trying to do it all himself, we've seen the Jets game a couple of years. I mean, it's not good when Josh just puts on the cape and tries to do everything. And sure, that's literally what offense, what everybody eats is supposed to mitigate, right? That they're supposed to stop Josh from doing that. And he obviously did it last year to the tune of the MVP. I'm worried about everybody having their fork and plate, DT, and ready to eat.
But that kind of contradicts itself, Rob, right? Because that's the point of everybody eats, is everybody gets a little. So if the one guy doesn't have their stuff, they go to the next and the next and the next, and that's the point of not. That's the whole point of everybody eats. That
I understand, but if you got your mouth shut, you stick the fork in your mouth and it's shut, I can't eat.
Yeah,
you got to open your mouth, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Agreed. And I will agree that Dalton, but as we went through and we got rid of Stephon Diggs last year and we broke down the roster and said, all right, Dalton Kincaid has to have this many catches and yards to fill that void. This Keon Coleman has to have this as a rookie to fill that void. And we kind of made that reality, and it didn't work out that way, but it still did by putting out the most productive offense, the team's ever had. So yes, I do agree. Dalton Kincaid and Keon Coleman and, a guy like Curtis Samuel and somebody, Josh Palmer, we have never even seen, and Elijah Moore, who might have upside, but we don't really know. And there's a weird aura around him.
Right.
Yes, they all do need to step up and play the roles, but the beauty of the everybody eats mentality is that it doesn't have to be, if they don't, that there's still backups and still plans to get through that. And everybody eats is created because Josh Allen has progressed to who he is. Everybody eats could have never been a thing in the beginning of his career for, just the way he played. Now he's taking the checkdowns, taking the open looks, taking whoever is there. And I think that also helps the offense and the pressure of that in knowing that if you might get the ball on every play. So you have to be ready and ready to go and up to that standard each
Ready to
week.
eat.
So exactly. And I think overall that's been the standard now for an entire 2 seasons, an entire off season with basically the same squad for the most part, other than Elijah Moore and Josh Palmer. And I'm not expecting them to have 1,000 yards apiece this year. But the whole point of Everybody Eats is that if these guys don't step up, there is still other options that we can go to. And then literally the fail-safe option is the Superman cape and let's go. And even that option, week one, is still keeping us in this game. So I agree, Rob. I agree. I think they do need to step up, but the whole point of Everybody Eats is if they don't, there's still other options to it. And the only thing Everybody Eats is still in existence and is a thing at all is because Josh Allen has matured to this point in his career where he will literally find anybody. And I think these guys know that. Every route they run, they could get the ball. And so they're playing it as they are the number one receiver every single time because they could be.
Yeah, but that doesn't answer the question of what happens on 3rd and 7 if Keon Coleman runs the wrong route or he's not ready to catch the ball, or what we saw last night. CeeDee Lamb dropping some money passes from Dak Prescott played well last night and he let him down.
He could have had 200 yards. Yeah.
So then that's kind of my point, is that if these guys are not ready to step up, you don't get redos. You just have to go to the next week. So that's I guess that's some of my trepidation. So. Okay, no problem. I'll
I agree. I agree 100%. But it's also like this is in the building now. This is the culture. We have been close to perfect, and close to perfect isn't good enough. We have to be perfect to win. Like we have to be perfect to get this Lombardi here in Buffalo. And we've been close, but we haven't done it. And so this has to be the main drag of from day one of minicamp till Sunday night, the moniker, the thing, everyone has to be ready to go because we need to be perfect. And so we can only hope that fuels each other to, hey, I might get the ball this play, so I have to act like I'm the number one receiver on this play. And that's every single play, and that's what we've been preaching now for 2 years. So I agree. If they don't step up, we are going to see it. If they don't step up, we are going to see it, and it is going to be tough, and it is going to be harder to get things going, and we can be very critical next week when that happens. But I have to be confident in the fact that this is what if we do the whole mini camp and training camp and everything for, is to get everybody prepared for Sunday night at 8:30. Right. And to be prepared in an Everybody Eats offense, you have to feel like you're the number one receiver at all times. So it's not just something we made up today that they're like, okay, shit, let's see how it works Sunday. Right. I think this has been the full thing the whole time. And what better way to prepare these guys to step up than preparing them for now 2 years to do this?
Right, you're right. You're right. Okay,
but I definitely agree with you, Rob. And the fact if they don't, it's going to be noticeable. Obviously,
it will be obviously noticeable. You're absolutely right about that. Now, as we transition, we've got some housekeeping. It looks like Tyler Bass is not going to go. They put him on injured reserve earlier this today in the afternoon. It looks like Matt Prater is joining the Buffalo Bills. I guess I heard a stat that he will be the oldest Buffalo Bill in history. When he laces up and kicks off for us on Sunday night at 41 years old. No problem there. I mean, I usually don't give a shit about kickers until I care about them when they're missing kicks. So we'll see how he does. Trey White, we've talked about. Really unlikely that you'll see him out there, Bills Mafia, on Sunday night. He did not practice again today, so it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. He's listed as doubtful technically, but you don't expect to see him out there. So again, Dorian Strong or Jamarcus Ingram will take his place as cornerback 2 opposite of Christian Benford. Now, good news, Christian Benford was back on the field. We talked about that. Same thing with Keon Coleman. They were both dealing with some groin issues, so they should be back out there on Sunday and ready to go. DT, what is an X factor, or what is the X factor that you see in this game? Because I definitely am sick of talking about injuries, but it's going to be hard if Lamar Jackson carves up the Buffalo Bills defense and he's picking on cornerback 2. He's picking on even Christian Benford a little bit. And all of a sudden you're looking at it, and then he's got 300 yards passing. They scored 31 points and they beat us 31-24 or 31-20. It'll look bad. It'll feel bad. But that crowd that I got to hear, shout out to Widow, our last week's guest, he'll be ready to tell you it was injuries. I can't stand when that is an excuse, but sometimes injuries are not an excuse. They are a reason. Do you think injuries are going to be a reason that we possibly lose on Sunday?
I don't think they can be because, like you said, we've already used it. It's already been a thing. It's going to be a thing the entire NFL season. And, so it's just something you can't use. I think the X factor, you said it kind of in this, as you were just saying, the X factor is 300 yards, Rob. The X factor is 300 yards. What quarterback throws 300 yards? That's
Okay.
my X factor. I think it's going to be a shootout.
Really?
As much as I want to bend, don't break, and have faith in this defense,
The
we're not
over-under's
shutting
been
this.
coming down. Okay.
We're not shutting this team. We're not shutting this team up. We're not shutting this team under 20. I'd be very surprised if that happened. So
Right.
who gets to 300 yards? I like us getting to 300 yards. Could they get to 300 yards? Sure. But I think that X factor is there's going to be one quarterback that does. That quarterback that does is going to win. So that's my X factor. Can't be the injuries. We've already used the excuse. I agree. It's not an excuse. It's going to be something the entire year. It's going to be something the entire year. It is.
Yeah,
so every week
really
we're just writing off another season in the prime because we're injured. No, it can't be. Right. I agree. It can't be. And so next man up, let's ride. The X factor is 300 yards.
300 yards. That's interesting. It's funny because when I think about the X factor, I'm like, well, my immediate default setting is like, just stop Derrick Henry and just stop, you know what I mean, him and Lamar from getting, somebody asked me the other night, I was on a space and my boy Sheed was like, what do you want to see as the total? I was like, I guess keep him under 120 combined between Lamar and Derrick. And I was like, I think that's like a successful night. I think he ran for about 70 or something like that.
Yeah.
He ran for like 70 in the playoffs. So however you get it, if he can hold them under 120, 110, that'd be a victory. My X factor is definitely going to be on the outside, the secondary. I literally named an episode, secondary concerns. Like, I'm worried about the secondary. If they can find a way to make plays, if they can find a way not to get embarrassed. We saw Kyer Elam last night out there getting burned, and then Twitter's blowing up like, oh, I guess the Bills didn't make a bad decision and stuff like that. Listen, if these young guys can come in and play well, Cole Bishop, whoever is starting at cornerback too, Rapp out there helping out Bishop in the back end. If these guys on the boundaries can help out in the secondary, I think it'll go a long way for a Buffalo Bills victory, because I personally feel like the approach for Baltimore is going to be to attack them. Not that they're not going to try to run the ball, but because of the fact that if Buffalo is trying to make a concerted effort to stop the run, they have no problem going to the air with
Sure.
Lamar Jackson. So I think the X factor is how the secondary plays. I'll be watching them keenly to see how they're reacting to certain coverages, to certain route concepts, because of the fact that I think that they're kind of front and center for me when it comes to Sunday night's game, DT.
Yeah, when you go into the casino, let's throw. You sit down at a slot, boom, you hit. You throw your money in, you hit. You cash out. Okay, you invested and you cashed out on the investment. What did we invest in the most this offseason, Rob?
Defense.
Where on the defense?
Defensive line.
Yes. So if we need to cash out on this investment early and it cashes, it might not be, if we kept it in there a little longer, we might have made a little more money. But cash out is a cash out. If we're up money when we walk out of there, we're up money when we walk out of there. And you can't tell me that's not a good play. So I think we need our investment in this defensive line is going to need to spark early to mask if there is going to be a situation where we might get carved up on the back end of this defense. The way to combat that is the place we invested the most in the entire team this offseason on the defensive line. That investment needs to cash out for us week 1.
Okay. Well,
it's
then
early. It's an early cash out.
but that leaves
it's an early cash out,
man. But that leaves nowhere else to look but Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott at the end of this game and at the end of the season, is because I'll probably name an episode down the road. No excuse. There's no excuses for those guys. So I need to see the baby. I need to see this all work. You have now invested in this again. You have now gone round 2 of giving Sean McDermott his weapons. Sean McDermott, Bobby Babich. I don't care. I mean, Bobby Babich to me is just a disciple of Sean McDermott. I mean, he's running McDermott's defense. I need to see it work. I understand that there's some young guys in the middle,
yeah,
TJ Sanders, Deion Walker, but I just don't. in Josh Allen's prime,
Well,
I have a very low tolerance for bullshit.
yeah.
I just don't
But
give them much
you
leeway.
asked what it would be if we start getting carved up on the defensive backfield. Then we need to go where we invested the most. Boza, 3 big ass dudes in the middle, like the vets of Ed Oliver, who got paid and has been better.
Right.
Like, the veteran leadership of DaQuan Jones. Like, go where we've invested the most, and hopefully it cashes out. If we're getting carved up, you asked if we're getting carved up, what happens? Go to our investment.
All right, no doubt, no doubt. As we begin to wrap up tonight, I really appreciate your time tonight. Listen, shout out to the I-86 Network. We have partnered up with them. They are going to get ready to do some simulcasts with us and allow us to simulcast on their network as well. Shout out to my boy Tom Wujek and along with his buddy Bobby. Listen, they're doing a great thing over there. Check them out, I-86 Network. It's like a rebrand. They're coming out with their rebrand. They asked us to join. I said we have no problem joining and doing some simulcasts. So you'll see some stuff over the next course of the couple weeks, and we'll start to link up with them and start to do some simulcasts. So shout out to the I-86 Network for their support as well to Nickel City Crew. Now, DT, final thing before we get to the tailgate report. Final thing. What will be your reaction on Monday? Because listen, to me, most likely it's a close game either way, right? Bills win close, Ravens win close. To me, there's only one team that could blow out the other team. Now, you may disagree. Listen, there's only one way that it's a blowout, and that would be something that we saw last year and reminiscent of that. So for me, I am going to take solace. I'm going to be happy, quote unquote happy, even if it's a loss on Sunday, as long as the defense is competent and it's competitive. If we are getting shredded all over the field, I really almost couldn't care how many points we scored. I mean, if we lose 35-33, that, obviously it'll make you feel good about the offense and stuff like that, but I'll still be mad that we lost. What do you feel? What's the most likely scenario on Sunday, and how will you feel after it? Because I'm not prepping for a Bills loss, but I'm definitely I'm accepting of the fact that it could happen. And I just don't see the Bills blowing out the Ravens. So we'll put the other thing to the side. Ravens blow us out, everybody would be mad. We already know everybody would be mad. I see it as a close game either way, and hopefully it is. How would you feel, win or loss? And give me and kind of paint what Monday looks like for you, since we won't be back till next week.
Yeah, I think
because the season's not over. We've already conceded that the season's not over.
The most likely situation is a close win or loss, either way, right?
I think so.
When it gets into the blowout territory, I go back to the history of Sean McDermott and Josh Allen. You can count on your fingers the amount of times we've lost by more than 7 points with these dudes. Okay, so one was last year against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore on a early season game. So it could happen, but I think the magic of the start of the season, the magic of the hype, the magic of rolling your team out there and you don't know what to expect, I don't see any reason why the Bills can't blow it out. Is it likely? No. But is the Ravens blowing the Bills out likely? Hell no. And so I see a close game, of course, but I also will party and have faith in the magic that could happen on a blowout either way, because that early season, that first game, just a good game script and a couple bounces either way this place is going to be crazy Sunday night. It's going to be crazy Sunday night.
Full tilt.
So that might be a team where a couple bounces early, and you have a good game plan. Josh Allen scores his first 3 possessions. It's 21-4, 21-3 early. That's a recipe for a blowout either way. But I'm not ruling out blowouts on the Bills side. I don't think it's as likely on the Ravens side. I think obviously most likely is a win or loss in the close regard. I'm not thinking about a loss though, Rob. I'm not thinking about a loss. I'm going to be straight up. Like, I'm observant. I'm educated. I know the Ravens are bad dudes. I know Lamar Jackson's a bad dude, but we got the badder dude. We got the batter dude, and that's what I'm going in at on Sunday. I'm not thinking about a loss. I haven't waited all off season to not get pumped up for this game and expect to win it. I'm educated, and I know there's a possibility the Ravens can come in here and handle business, but I am not expecting that. I am
not with that
hyping up
energy.
my whole preseason to walk out of here with a win, and that's what we're gonna do. That's the shit I'm standing on right now.
10 toes
Our dude's
down.
batter, the energy's there. Last opener in the Ralph. We ain't hyped up like this to be okay with a loss. Like, yes, it's not going to ruin our season. We're not hyped up like this to be okay with a loss.
I love it. I'm not. Hey, no, don't listen. Don't swing on me. I love it.
That's
I'm
it.
with you. I'm with you.
I'm not playing the shit. How I'm gonna feel Monday. What the GR people are gonna say. Oh, I told you so. We told you so. We could have been better. Nah. I'm for 8:30 Sunday night. We got the batter dude. I'm not worried.
Hey, listen.
I'm educated. I'm not worried. This is the
listen.
beauty of us being this good for this long. We can have the fucking swagger Sunday night. We can have the moxie to go in there and say, you got to beat us. You got to beat us, Rob.
Listen, I'm not trying to convince you. I love it. I listen, Bills Mafia, Nickel City Crew. Listen, listen. I have no problem with what DT is saying at all. I want everybody to realize, and like he said, he's educated, but listen, listen, you're not gonna get any fights out of me. I'm definitely not trying to fight one of my best friends in DT.
No,
listen, dump truck, you got it.
No fight. There's no fight. This is the passion of like the build up. Like I'm so pumped up for this. Like it's a privilege to be able to be this pumped up, and have that privilege.
And we've gone through some dark days, and you know what I mean. And we've gone through the drought, and we've gone through the four straight losses. So I agree with you that it is definitely a privilege to be in a position where you can expect to win. No problem. We'll leave it right there. You are absolutely right. All of Bills Mafia, all of Nickel City Crew, we can all have the confidence on Sunday night that the Bills are going to go ahead and get it done. And again, we just talked for the last 45 minutes about different mitigating factors that we may not get it done and what happens. This DT's on board. He said we're getting the W. I have no problem with that at all. I want us to get the W. I was just trying to make sure that we were clear. Listen, as we begin to wrap up tonight, the Nickel City Crew Tailgate Report is back. It is again sponsored by Queen City Vintage. Check out our buddy Nick over there at 40 Thieves. Excuse me, on Elmwood across from 40 Thieves. Queen City Vintage. Listen, all of your Buffalo Bills, all of your Buffalo Sabres, nostalgic gear. Didn't see them in Hard Knocks. I was a little bit. They got cut. It got edited out, left on the cutting room floor of the director's cut. But listen, Nickel City Crew, I promise you guys, Bills Mafia, I promise you guys, they are running a great shop over there on Elmwood. All of your stuff that you need to get geared up, ready to go. If you're in that nostalgic mood for some of the old school stuff, I promise you, Nick and the boys, they got you covered, man. Queen City Vintage, we've got giveaways every single year. At the end of tonight's episode, DT and I will release our first giveaway for week 1. Now, there's some parameters, and our creative director, Olivia Nagle, shout out to her. She'll let you know what you got to do to enter the contest. But we've got some sweet swag. I already saw it. DT sent it to me pre-show. We've got some sweet swag ready for you to go.
Sweet swag, baby. Yeah.
Sweet swag ready to go for you for week 1. So listen, head on over to Queen City Vintage. DT, what you got going for this weekend? I've got a confession to make. I'll let you go first. It's mine is more procedural and a little bit of business and stuff like that, but I'll let you go first. What you got going on this weekend, DT?
Well, tonight it's going to be a very behaved night for DT. On a Friday night at the Bachelor Pad, we're going to watch some ball. And we're going to watch Pat Mahomes get kidnapped by the cartel, and we're gonna hang out. Tomorrow, got an early golf tournament. Got an employee golf tournament down a little ways away. And got to be there early, so I'm up and at 'em right out of the gate. Get out, get some golfing, get back for some college football to relax. So relax tonight, play golf, relax tomorrow. Then we got game day Sunday. We're getting the particulars together. Don't have the exact plans yet, but obviously we're going to be at the main lot at Club Dub, as Big Ben and the crew will call it, Club Dub. We'll get the tents together, get the Kenny with the smoker going, Ben's with the 1 and 2s, and it's going to pop off, and everyone's going to be ready to go. 8:30 game always means that tailgate goes a little long. You can only get there so early. for a 1 o'clock. You can only get there so early for a 1 o'clock. Even us crazy people, when we're there at 7, 8 in the morning for a 1 o'clock, it's still only about a 4-hour tailgate.
Right.
That 8:30 game, that tailgate can be 8, 9 hours real easy. So you got to be we are professional tailgaters. I've said it 100 times on the show. We are professional tailgaters, and I will be a professional on Sunday night. But we'll be there early. We'll be at the same spot down in the grass lot and enjoying ourselves. Ready to bring the energy I just had last segment there. If I get in this stadium, whoever's sitting next to me, they better be ready, because I'm gonna be that guy.
I love it. Listen, I ain't got no problems with you. I ain't mad at you. Now, my confession, Nickel City crew, and please enjoy the golf tournament tomorrow, DT, and college football as well, because I'm interested in some college football tomorrow. On my side, DT, we've got chill night tonight. I'm gonna do some grocery shopping after the show. Get the kids all ready to go and reared up for next week. And then tomorrow we've got Nate, QB1, second game of the year. We are on an away game, so we got to go 45 minutes away, and we are going into hostile territory, and we are not fearing another boy. We are not fearing another boy on that other team. Listen, I promise you, it's the Lake Norman Giants against the Weddington. I don't even know who they are. It doesn't matter. I think it's Weddington Titans. It don't matter who they are. It's about us. We're going to take care of what we got going on. So I'm really excited about that. Second game of the regular season for Nate, my middle king, and he's QB1. He's had a good week of practice, DT. He's ready to go. He's been, going through his progressions, different things like that. They've been working on different things. So I was really excited and really encouraged by what I saw out there at practice this week. So I'm ready to go get a dub. You know what I mean? As dad, I'm ready to go get a dub, sit in the stands on Saturday, and then come back Saturday night and watch some more college football. Now, confession, Nickel City crew, I tried. I tried. I did all I could do, and DT's been with me every step of the way over some clerical errors. So it is not my fault. Over some clerical errors with the Buffalo Bills and their season ticket department and different things like that. I mean, I don't need to get all to the nitty-gritty, but basically they charged me more than they were supposed to charge me. Then I asked for a refund so I could get back on the payment plan. And then when I asked for a refund, they took forever. And then when I finally got the refund, I almost would just said, F it. I'm not going to the new stadium. We're not doing the PSLs. And because this was the farewell tour, I wanted to be in the building. And I tried. DT knows I'm telling the truth, Nickel City crew. I tried everything I could to make this work with them. And it just became to a point where it was more of a headache than it was for to be worth it. And to be honest, because we weren't going to make it up there for every game. And you already know that, DT, we talked about it. So we're going to try to sell some games back. But you know what I mean? How can we get back what we invested and all this? And I just said, forget it. DT is coming down for the Carolina Panthers, hosting the Buffalo Bills in late October. And I said, you know what? That's enough for me. I will get back up to the Ralph sometime this year in the regular season, hopefully. And if not, then I'll get back up to the Ralph definitely for a playoff game that we should be hosting if we take care of business and take care of that division. You're guaranteed, obviously, one at least playoff game at home if you win the division. So because of that, I regret to announce that we do not have season tickets this year, DT and I made an executive decision. It was hard. I talked to management, and it was the best thing for a father of 5 down here in Charlotte, 1,300 miles round trip away. I made an executive decision to just cut ties. I'm not going to the new stadium anyway. I'm not getting the PSLs and all that other stuff. So we cut ties. I'm sad to regret it. DT, please send me as many pictures and videos as you can on Sunday. I will be missing you guys. I'm going to go head on and do a Boston butt. I'm going to do a pork shoulder, grill it out on the grill, smoke it for 7-8 hours until that thing is fallen, until you can pull the bone right out of it. And we're going to be all here together, man. Me and the Kings will be here together on Sunday night watching it. They get to stay up. They got school the next day, but it doesn't matter. It's a holiday. They can stay up and watch the game with Dad. Oh, yeah. We're good to go there. So that's the plan for me. That's the tailgate report for me. We are Nate's game tomorrow, college football at night, and then yes, we will be smoking a Boston butt on Sunday all day, and I'll just be listening to GR. I'll be listening to the content, watching the games at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock, and that's it. But that I had to, hey DT, I had to be responsible. I'm 40 now. I'm a grown man. I'm 40. I had to be responsible.
You could be the kicker of the Buffalo Bills.
I had to let it go. Absolutely, man. I had to let it go. So I'm gonna miss you guys on Sunday. But please have all of the fun in the world, man.
Hey, Rob, we will miss you as well. Completely understand. And you said it. Nickel City Crew takes on Charlotte late October. That's going to be one for the ages. That's literally when they say it's going to be a movie. It's literally going to be a movie. We might have to make a movie.
I
Call Hard
cannot wait.
Knocks. Hard Knocks, get them back down for Nickel City in October in Charlotte. So we're
Oh, I
pumped
can't
up for
wait.
that.
I
We
can't
are
wait.
gonna have that home playoff game, Rob. We are gonna get in this, Ralph, one more time together
That's
and
what's up.
bring your ratchet because we're ripping the seats out and taking them home with us in the AFC Championship game as
I
we
love
go.
it.
So
I love
so
it.
yeah, we love you, Rob. We will miss you, but you're gonna be there I'm sure we'll be FaceTiming all day. You'll be there, in spirit. So
Absolutely.
definitely understand. We stand together no matter what.
Yeah, man, we stand together for sure. And I want you guys to have a fantastic time out there. Like I said, I just had to make a decision based on family and finances. It's a lot going on. And by the time that they had effed up, and it wasn't my F up, but by the time the Bills had effed up at their accounting department, the season ticket department, it's too much hassle. I've been with you guys since 2009. Since the 50th anniversary season, TO, and I've been there, man. So I've been loyal. I've got nothing else to prove to anyone in respects to Bills Mafia or to the Buffalo Bills themselves. I'm dedicated, and I'll sit this one out, but I will make it up to the Ralph for at least one game. Hopefully the playoffs. We can take care of business, and we can and close out the Ralph the right way. DT, when was your first opener? Because I was thinking back. WGI was talking about this morning. I was like, man, I think that my first opener was, and I was like, man, I'm going way back, but I thought it might have been Rex Ryan's first year, the Percy Harvin against the Colts. I think that was like, you know what I mean?
That
Because
was my first opener with Seasons. That was my first opener with
like
Seasons.
mine goes back to 09.
Yeah.
So I've been up there and stuff like that, but you miss games and stuff. You sell tickets back and stuff like that. So it's been sporadic, but like, man, DT, we go way back. When was your first opener? Can you even go back that far?
I know the one with Seasons was that Colts game. Percy Harvin from Tyrod, that deep drop. We took a party bus from Syracuse. That was well before we met, and I knew about the grass lot or anything like that.
Yes.
I think it was the Jets.
Okay.
Like 5 or 6 years before that.
Okay.
With was it Lossman?
Yeah.
JP Lossman?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Or no, it was Houston. JP Lossman, Houston.
Okay. He had a good game that day.
Yeah. They balled out. Lee Evans, I think, had like $160. And they beat Houston at home in the home opener. That was my first opener.
Yeah, my first opener goes back. I mean, I think that it was before 09, but I can remember going to see the Bills play against, I think it was the Steelers. And but I'm young. This is back in the late 90s and stuff like that was my first opener. But it was funny listening to GR this morning because you're trying to like trace back. And I'm like, I can't even go back that far. Like, I don't even remember when it was. But listen, so many memories there at the Ralph. And I'll always, it gives me chills, DT, when I hear you talk about that story about how you never wanted the clock to end when you went to your first game, and that just always brings a tear to my eye because I remember what it was like for me going to the Ralph for the first time, and then going, and then becoming a season ticket holder, getting older after I moved down here to Charlotte. All of the memories. Listen, this season, just enjoy it, Bills Mafia. Soak it all in. Sunday night, soak it all in. I heard there's going to be a drone show at halftime and all this other stuff. And listen, soak it all in. Take as many videos as you can just to kind of be nostalgic and to make sure that you have these memories because it's truly a great place. It's truly a place that means a lot to us. And I know that we'll have fun at the new stadium, and you and I will be there and the home openers and stuff like that. We'll have a lot of fun at the new stadium, but it's going to be a lot different. There's something about the rock pile. There's something about the 300s. There's something about just the fact of like when it's a sunny day and we're sitting down there in the hundreds and it's just the sun. It just seems like God is watching the Bills play. And I know that can seem dramatic, but it seems like, man, like there is nothing else going on.
It's beautiful, man.
And that's what makes Marv Levy's words ring true. Like where else would you rather be? And like, listen, man, I moved down to Charlotte in 06, and by 09, I told you guys it's a joke, but like I was scratching like a crack addict. And I was like, I don't want to be here on a Sunday in Charlotte. Like I need to be back with my people. And that's what spurred everything in 2009 to get those season tickets. I was like, well, what is it? Some gas? And then I had like Bobby was in the oven. I'm like, what? I'm just going to spend some gas and to go like No problem, man. And they were the cheapest season tickets in the league at the time, DT.
Yeah.
It was us in Cleveland. Cleveland was like at $750. We were at like $900. And I was like, whatever, man. Like I for 2 tickets, not one, for 2. And I was like, man,
people are paying that to get in Sunday.
I know, I saw stuff up. It's crazy, man. It's just the memory. So that's my PSA to Bills Mafia. Enjoy all of it. Enjoy the national anthem. Enjoy the tailgate with your people and your family and friends. It's just going to be something where this is the last home opener and this is the last. Then we're just going to keep doing the last all season long. Enjoy it out there, Bills Mafia. If you're up there in Western New York or if you're traveling for that game, now one thing you did say tonight, I disagreed with a lot of shit you said tonight, DT. But one thing that you said is true. It is going to be full throttle on Sunday night. So Lamar's cadence is going to be all messed up. It's going to be full throat. And I cannot wait, DT. I'm really excited for this game.
The last home opener before Lombardi.
I love it. I'm with that energy, man. I'm down with you, man. I'm down with you. Eventually it's got to happen. I mean, I'm down. I'm down with you, man. Listen, out there, enjoy your weekend. For sure. Be safe out there. Enjoy the game, all the festivities. Be safe out there as well on Sunday, leading into Sunday night. DT is right. Those tailgates can go a little bit long on those night games. So make sure you pace yourself and make sure that you actually can get into the stadium. You don't want to be passed out in the parking lot. So listen, be good out there. Listen, spread love out there, not hate. These were my Bills thoughts said out loud. Hit it with a go Bills, DT.
Go Bills. 1-0.
1-0. I love it.